This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, everyone. Big welcome to our Monday night patching podcast. Today is November 7th. My name is Peter No, Senior Presidential Director here with Lifewave. I would like to introduce everyone, my partner, my forever young lady, Mrs. Suzanne McGee. If you know what anti-aging is, you can just look at her and you can tell. How are you doing this evening, Suzanne?
Oh, so great. I love doing this. This is one of the joys of my life. Monday nights are important, and we get to meet with all of our friends and all of those who are making differences in their life.
Good. And this call is really designed for all the brand new guests here that are coming just to hear about the latest, the most exclusive technology in stem cell activation. So if you've been invited by a friend, a family member, a coworker, just somebody who already experienced this and they had such an experience they want to share with you, in the next 30 minutes, what you'll be hearing is some incredible testimonials from our users, whether they used it a day, a week, a month, a year, a couple years. And then I'll be coming back to share with you how this technology works and how to get your hands on it. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass it on to Suzanne to read the disclaimer and get this party started.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
We are not doctors or medical professionals. The information discussed here is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. So if you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have a medical condition, please consult with your physician first and then come back and join us. Well, I want to start out with a great thanks. I'm always appreciative to those who raise their hand and when I ask, will come on for an interview. I know it takes time from your family, and I appreciate you being willing to say, I want to come on and tell my testimony. We have two wonderful people tonight. We'll have ladies go first. And so if you can unmute, Nickie, and then we'll start with you. So Nickie was amazingly a great sight when she walked into my wellness center about 3 weeks ago. She looks like she walked off the cover of the magazine, the fitness magazine, and with a beautiful smile and radiance. And I was so excited to have her. And then she came for a reason, and it was a reason to improve her life. So I asked Nickie if she would come on, as she was open to welcoming and being able to make some changes and look at this technology. And I know that we're always interested when people come on and how do we introduce that? And will they be open? And we kind of hold our breath and say a little prayer. And I did so with her. So Nickie, introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do as a profession now, and give us a little bit more details about what you felt about the X39 when you heard about it.
Yeah, originally, so I'm from Huntington Beach, California, born and raised. I've been all about the biohacking technology since I had some inflammation issues pop up in my life recently. Big surprise, since I'm really the epitome of health, how I eat, how I live my life, and everything I've done since I was little. Never ate my Halloween candy, like I've never been that type of child. So I was looking for assistance when it came to this inflammation in my body that was not leaving. And I met Suzanne at her place of business, told her my story, and she guided me on a couple different things to help me out. And I thank my lucky stars every day that I walked into that establishment. Sorry if I get a little emotional. She told me about the patches, and at that point I was game for anything that wasn't going to be in my system to make anything worse. So when you say non-transdermal, drug-free, I'm like, I will try anything right now. So within the first 2 days, all the inflammation left my body. Before that, I was putting ice packs everywhere on my body. I felt like a heater, even though I did not have a fever. Doctors didn't know what was wrong. But I started patching, and within 2 days, I felt normal again. The heat left my body. I didn't have to put ice packs all over me. And the extreme amount of energy I got on limited sleep, because I hadn't slept for a few weeks with this inflammation I had in my body. Every time I laid down, I'd have these coughing fits. And so I had extreme amount of energy, extreme amount of joy right off the bat within first 2 days. And every day since then, it's been almost, I think Thursday will be 3 weeks. It gets better and better every day. I know I'm healing every day, building my strength back and my life back, basically. So I patch, where I need the assistance each day, whether it be on my chest or my back, in that regard. So I'm a big supporter. I got on board. I got about 12 different people trying them now, between friends and family. One has MS and has had decreased back pain within 2 days. She was kind of a non-believer, which I'm sure we all hear that a lot, put a patch here and I'm sure you won't feel pain. But she has MS and she texts me, she's like, I don't know if it's in my head, but I've received less back pain by 50%. My mother-in-law, same thing. She is almost pain-free and she was taking 4 to 5 Advil and Tylenol every day of both to relieve her back pain from a previous job. So, when you hear that, it just makes you rest assured that things are healing for you as well, whatever the situation is. So for me, I'm very excited to see how things progress with me and with my friends and family that are willing to try. So I say a prayer every night to God, knowing that I'm healing because I feel great. I feel awesome. I have my energy, can work out again. I have a 4 and 6-year-old, so I have to keep up with them as well, with their nutrition and health and balance. So for me, it's really been awesome in a short period of time. And I'm so excited to see how everything progresses the more I patch. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, Nickie, your attitude, and I'm sure each of you can feel it. We do our energy work at our center. So we're always talking about frequency. And Nickie's frequency is so high that you're adding so much to that. And a lot of people ask, well, how can it work so quickly? Mm-hmm. How can it really? But with frequency that you're adding to this, our minds are in control of our body. And you have such a positive attitude with something that could be a very serious condition. And yet that is being taken off to the side. So I want to commend you because I think it's admirable for how you are handling this situation. How old are you, Nickie?
I'm 43.
43. Mm-hmm. And the news that she received about 4 weeks ago was very unusual because of her condition, her health condition, and how magnificent she handles everything in her life. So I just want to tell you that we are here to support you, love you, and I appreciate you coming on. And we'd like to have you back in a couple of weeks or a couple of months and to see how this is progressed in your life.
Yes, of course. I believe in, when you're making a positive change in your life, consistency is key, just like anything. You're starting to eat healthy or you want to exercise more or spend time with family and friends more. It's not just a one-time thing. It's something you need to commit to, because it's mind over matter at this point with whatever you have going on. And when you have that mindset and determination, you can do anything. I kind of put myself in the Wonder Woman, we've talked about this, state of mind where nothing's going to stop me, and I've kind of had that mentality my whole life. But once I was put in a situation where things were tested and beyond my control, you really have to really mind over matter and just fake it till you get there and just know that you're going to be okay when you pray to God and you're surrounded by people that, just want you to heal and be happy. So I'm very thankful for being here and meeting Suzanne and Bob and sorry, And yeah, so I will of course come back and let you know how I'm doing.
Thank you so much. Do you have your ring on tonight?
I just took a shower, so I gotta take them when I can get them. You know, the kids were eating. I'm
right.
like, I need a shower at some point, so I'm
Right.
not doing it at 9 o'clock at night. So no, it's safe upstairs, but I do have a Wonder Woman ring that I wear every day that came from a surprise box at a dentist's office. So I keep it with me to just remind myself that I will be just fine.
Thank you. Thank you, Nickie. We're praying for you, and
Thank
we
you.
are all here to support you, and you will be in our thoughts. Thank you for coming on and expressing your tender feelings. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for all the kind comments. I see them coming through.
And you will. This is a great community of support. Great. Okay, so our second one is Dr. Richard Cliche. And I'd like you to come on and tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you were introduced to X39.
Well, I'm not quite as young as Nickie. I'll be 80 in 6 months. And as I was sharing with you earlier today, Suzanne, I've been a first responder of one kind or another since I was 14 years old. Started out with an Explorer post where we were the County Disaster Response Unit for Civil Defense. And for those of you that don't know the history of EMS, most of your state civil defense offices became the state EMS offices because they ran out of things to do for civil defense. Been first aider, Navy, firefighter, EMT, paramedic, public safety officer. I probably won all the hats, and I run a business where I teach trauma and combat casualty care around the world. As I told Suzanne earlier today, that business sort of went away with the pandemic because I couldn't fly anywhere. And in any event, somebody else is on the screen and I'm not, but that's okay. In any event, last February, a good friend of mine, Frank Kerr, introduced me to Lifewave. And I'm sort of the consummate skeptic. And I thought, okay, but because it was Frank, I said, all right, I'll try it. And in my EMS career, I'm with a federal disaster medical team still. I believe I am the oldest paramedic in Florida right now. And I'm renewing my license one more time. And the next time I have to renew it, I'll be 81, and I may give it some serious consideration as to maybe that's the time to hang it up. In any event, I've done lots of hurricanes. I just deployed to Fort Myers for doing critical incident stress management for first responders. Frank pointed out when we chatted recently that I also did Ground Zero in September and October of 2001. I have no idea what's going to come as a result of that because we've lost a lot of our teammates already. Anyhow, so I put on the X39 at the beginning of March. And as most folks that have been in EMS for far too long,
and we have to support.
I've got back problems.
That's also very important because that means
there's somebody's cat on the screen. I've got back problems. And so I thought, okay, I'll give these things a try. 5 or 6 weeks into using the X39 patch, we had a torrential downpour, and the 2 chairs out in my lanai that are normally under cover got really soaked. So the rain finally stopped, and I said, okay, let me get them out in the sun. So I went outside and I put them in the sun, put the first chair in the sun, walked back around the pool, picked up the other chair, took it around the pool, put it down, walked back in the house and said, I won't say exactly what I said, but I thought, holy cow, my back doesn't hurt. So I was beginning to see some results. I've got very little left between the 4th and 5th lumbar vertebrae. It's a typical Furno 30 injury. If any of you have ever been involved in ambulance stuff, the Furno 30 was the early litter used in a lot of ambulances. And the only way you got anybody into the ambulances was by brute force. And most any of us that have been in EMS since its beginning, which I have, you've got chronic back problems. So I still have pain. I get therapy on my back, but remarkably, it is nowhere near as debilitating as it ever was before. And as I told Suzanne, I've had 2 heart attacks, and I've got what's called BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. I got my PSA done recently. I'm going to be fascinated to see what happened with my PSA between the last time I had it done and this time, because that is going to be sort of the proof will be in the pudding as far as I'm concerned. So that's my story. If any of you can't read this shirt, let me read it to you. It says EMS Artifact, start conversation at your own risk. And I fit the bill for the artifact part.
That's great. You said something earlier to me when we were talking that I was impressed with, because you've continued to progress, not expecting that it was going to be an overnight occurrence. And you gave us an analogy that David Schmidt has asked us to live by. Tell us that one.
Yeah, the age reversal thing. I forgot to tell the anecdote from Fort Myers. I had some firefighters ask me how old I was, and I said, well, I'm going to be 80 in 6 months. And they said, like hell you are. And I said, yeah, I am. And I took out my driver's license and showed it to them to prove them how old I was. But the one rule of thumb that David has mentioned in some of his presentations is that for the age reversal aspect of the X39 to show up, you generally have to go a month for each decade of life before you begin to see that change. So these guys thought I was in my 50s, and
Wow.
I was blown away by that. I mean that was just plain stupid as far as I was concerned, because I look in the mirror and I see the same guy I see every day. But in any event, I guess some of the age reversal stuff is now showing up since I'm 8 months into it.
And that's great. And I think I'm pretty good at judging age. I would not even suspect that you are going to be 80. So I'm with them. I would say you're at least 30 years younger than what that age, chronological age is.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. It's a true statement. You look young and vital. And
well, Suzanne, I learned on that deployment, I don't do 12 to 14-hour days real well anymore. So certain aspects of my age are catching up to me.
Well, I don't think hardly anybody does 12 to 14-hour days very well. That's exhausting. And you are continuing to be a message of this reversal. Thank you so much. I know that you gave an opportunity for another group to hear you, and we're thankful that you were willing to come on and give us your report.
You're quite welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you. And I love how well you speak about the technology and what you've learned. And I'm going to ask if after you get those PSA reports, if we could have you on just quickly to hear what the response is. I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, Peter, there you are. 2 outstanding testimonies of what has happened with this. And tell us how we can expect to see these results because of light therapy, and the frequency that is involved with the light.
Wow. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Nickie, and Dr. Richard for always sharing. And I think all our guests must be really wondering, how does this thing work so fast? Why does it work so fast? So in the next 10 minutes, I'll get into this. But before I start, I want everyone really to just pay attention to 3 words, okay? The first one is non-invasive or non-transdermal, where nothing goes in your skin, no injections, no creams, and no pills to process. The second word is, how do you do that to repair yourself? And how can your body regenerate itself again? If you resonated with those 3 words, I want to take you back to 20 years ago. Did you ever listen, or did you ever hear of a product or a company that can do those 3 things? And if you haven't, I have not too. But 3 years ago, we were introduced to this technology. And in the last 3 years, all I can say is my eyes, I've never heard so many different types of testimonials being in this industry for 20 years. So everyone, this is the very first stem cell activation patch in the world. It is created by a company called Lifewave. The company is 18 years old. And here is the patch. So you must be wondering, how does this work? Really simple. We are the battery. We are the light. We are the energy. So we have an aura where we exude that light. So the patent that David Schmidt and the technology that he came up with a little bit over 20 years ago is when you place this patch on your skin, the crystals in the patch here will communicate with your cells the moment it is turned on. So let me repeat that again. There is no stem cells in these patches. You have the stem cells, but how do we turn on your own stem cells? Through the light. So when you place this patch on your skin, you can put it on C7, you can put it below your belly button, anywhere will work, okay? The moment you put it on, just know you're turning yourself on. And what is it turning on? It is turning on the most powerful peptide called GHK copper peptide. If you'd like to know what that peptide does, it literally within 24 hours, when you can turn it on, it will repair 4,000 of your genes. It will repair instantly your damaged DNA. And it can turn on your collagen, your hair. There's tons of benefit. If you want to go to reverse aging with GHK.com, Dr. Lauren Picard is the discoverer of that peptide. But when you can turn on that peptide, it actually does the most important thing. It can actually turn on your own stem cells at the same time when it figures out what your body needs to repair and regenerate. So for Nickie, I think she had like emotional, or it's her body, right? There's something there that she needed to elevate or turn on itself. For Dr. Richard, obviously he's turning 80 years old. Can you imagine the damage or all the things he has gone through, his bones, his back, his hands, his head, everything, right? So his whole body, how can someone like Dr. Richard repair and regenerate himself with this technology? So why is this technology so important today more than ever? Who here is over the age of 35? Okay, I think all of us are. Basically, 50% of your own stem cell does not get turned on anymore or activated. So you're walking around being damaged 50% of your body. What happens during the age of 35 to 65, another 30 years later? So if you're already 50% damaged, what happens another 30 years? So who here is over the age of 65? Dr. Richard raised his hand really big, okay? I'm almost there 20 years later, okay? I want to preserve myself. So at the age of 65, literally 80 to 90% of your stem cell production is gone. So that's why you're damaged 80 to 90%, meaning you cannot repair and regenerate yourself. And that's why we have all these issues. Not alone, we're living in the 20th century, everyone. Does everyone understand that we're being poisoned from the air, the food, and the water, right?
Mhm.
How do we protect ourselves from here? Welcome to Lifewave. So what are some of the results that we're having? People that are using it from 1 to 5 days. Some are experiencing better energy, more sleep. Miracles happen with their inflammation. So the pain, something happens to their pain, right? When your body starts healing itself, you can start seeing results. But deeper healing does take 90 days or more. So what Dr. Richard said, what David Schmidt said, for every decade that you're old, use it for 1 month. So if you're 50 years old, use it for 5 months to get the real full deep healing. Okay, we have Dr. Harmon. It took him 7 months to literally repair his internal gut. So now, who is responsible for this technology? And the reason why I said, let's go back 20 years ago, because how lucky are we alive today to be able to even hold a technology like this, where nothing, again, goes in your body and your skin. So David Schmidt, 20 years ago, he knew with his discovery of this technology, he knew he wanted to help the world. He wanted to get the world off of drugs and get humans to be at their best version, meaning to be able to heal themselves and live. So in 2004, he created Lifewave. What has happened in the last 18 years? In the last 18 years, he's developed a foundation where we are now registered in over 80 countries. We manufacture our own ingredients that goes into the own products. We have developed, the company has literally grown over, I think, 20 times already, its growth in the last 4 years, because the X39 took 10 years to develop. It was released at the end of 2018. We came in 2019. So we literally came in the perfect timing of an old company that is stable, debt-free, but with the new technology that the whole world needs. So it has been an incredible journey here. Our whole community here in the last 3 years of growth, we have helped over 35,000 members. So through the 35,000 members, I know that each one of you, if you're inviting your family, your friends, your colleagues here, we can help them too, because it is so simple just to ask a question. Have you heard of stem cells? Would you like to see what it is? Can you peel off a sticker? Can you just place it on someone and just help their bodies just do their thing? We've been doing it for 3 years, and we've been on this podcast every single day just to share how it works. So for our guests here tonight, there's only 2 things you just probably have to tell your friend. One, do you resonate with everything that you have heard in the last 30 minutes? And if you have, would you like to be activated and turn on too? All we want you to do is talk to the person who invited you. If you want to be a customer, you can get this at wholesale cost of $99 a month, less than $4 a day. Take a look at your medicine cabinet. What are you taking that is regrowing your hair, your skin, your bones, arthritis, any of those benefits? And we're talking about thousands of benefits. How can we save you money by just placing this patch on you? And if you like to save money, if you like to make money, if you like looking for a plan B, or if you just want to help people all around the world with this light technology, join us. Because if you're using it, you actually get a free business too from the company. Okay, we have 5 wholesale packages. The more you buy, the more you save. You get a beautiful website. You get an incredible support of our customer service. And most importantly, you get this incredible, beautiful, supportive community here called the Be Activation Group, because all we do here every day is just, again, patch people, show the light, and just invite them to this information here called the Patching Podcast, which we do 5 days a week. Tomorrow we have our beautiful Kathleen and Wendy to share. Oh, actually, no, tomorrow will be Suzanne and Charity with more testimonials to share. And again, thank you to all our guests for coming on. Please talk to the person that invited you here. Thank you to our patching community. Thank you, Nickie. Thank you, Dr. Richard. And thank you, Suzanne, for this lovely Monday evening. And everyone, go have a nice night. Go have a drink on me if you're having dinner. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Love you all.
Okay.
And good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.